If you are a kettlebell beginner and you're looking for a free kettlebell workout, check the first link in the description and enjoy. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe hier. 5 tips for kettlebell newbies who want to take their fitness in their own hands. Number 1, what is so important that you want to avoid? And that is getting weak. And in order to avoid to get weak, which causes a lot of problems, a lot of pain, a lot of insecurities, a lot of stress down the line, the older we get, the weaker we get. So we have to avoid weakness. How can you do this? With tip number 1. And this sounds a little, probably even too simple, but sometimes we need to hear the simple stuff. And that is start now. With kettlebells. I'm commanding you to start your kettlebell training journey now. And matter of fact, if you're already at it, keep going and don't stop. My mentor Dan John taught me these 2 things, the 2 secrets of success. Number 1 is to start doing, and number 2 is to keep going. And then he follows up with saying, most people don't keep going. And I don't know how familiar you are right now with the current climate and the current political situation. Some people might even say that if you read the Bible, that we live in the end times, which is kind of a scary thought. The truth of the matter is, we don't know what happens in the next month. The world is in turmoil. So the pandemic, as we had it in 2020, not in that regard that there will be another virus outbreak, but it might be that this whole scenario in a different form will repeat itself. And therefore, gyms will close down for whatever reason. Your membership will be canceled for whatever reason. You won't be able to go outdoors for whatever reason. It may happen. These are crazy times. This is not a political channel, but what I want to tell you is the reason why everybody jumped on kettlebells in 2020 is because they realized, wow, I can touch all the bases of human performance with only one tool. So if in the current months or years that happen down the line, crazy things will happen and your gym shuts down, you have to take matters into your own hands. That's why I'm saying this thing is for people who want to take their strength, fitness, power, speed, pain-free living in their own hands. And if crisis mode happens in this world that we live in today, you know what you need in that regard? You need to put on your hero cape, maybe for your family or even for yourself. And what does a hero need to come equipped with? With strength. You have to be pain-free, you have to be fast, you have to be fit, and you have to be strong. So you have to have a solid, functioning, painless body in order to combat this possible scenario of a crisis that is looming down the horizon. That's why I'm telling you, start now, and if you have already started, don't stop. Tip number 2, how to grind. Let's get a little practical. What are grinds? Grinds are exercises with kettlebells that you use to create a lot of tension. These are so-called high tension exercises where we want to build muscle, build tension, and in general, build a resilient and stronger self. And for this, we need to improve our strength in general. That's why we call them grinds. We have 7 exercises. I'm just going to brush over them for a second, and then I'm going to show you the 3 most important ones. We have grind number 1 is the deadlift. Grind number 2 is a row. Grind number 3 is a squat. Grind number 4 is a reverse lunge, or a lunge in that regard. Grind number 5 is a press. Grind number 6 is a windmill. And the final grind is the Turkish get up. Now let's cover the 3 most important ones Or let's, matter of fact, break it down into two: the press and the squat. So what I want you to learn is you want to learn how to clean a kettlebell, properly insert your hand into the handle, close your fingers to a fist, have the weight rest in the nest, as well as on your frame. Keep your elbow close to your body, and now press up, pressing the handles up first. And once the kettlebell's on the top fixation, keep your shoulders packed. This means don't have them loose, don't have them in the air elevated, but keep them packed. You have the ability to pull your shoulder, your upper arm, into the shoulder blade, into the socket. So therefore, the shoulder makes up the upper arm as well as the shoulder blade. So pulling the arms down means your rotator cuff has to do some work to stabilize the arm in the shoulder. This is great to increase strength, but also great to improve mobility. A lot of people have trouble in the shoulder. So if we are just able to press for a regular amount of time, increase the frequency, and do it for longer sets of time, down the road for the next couple of months, it may be that you're able to increase your mobility and, of course, increase your strength. The second exercise, the goblet squat, you can do it in a couple of versions. What I like to show you right now is the version where you grab the kettlebell by the handle or by the horns. If we have to grab the kettlebell by the handle or by the horns, our biceps and our arms have to do a little bit more work, so therefore we get more bang for our buck. Watch what this looks like. Kettlebells up, bring it a little bit in front of you, and now I stand a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. My feet are pointing outwards. Now my knees track my toes, and now I'm hinging a little bit, pushing the legs outside, and as I sit down, I stand here I sit here for a couple of seconds, and then I come back up. Now it may be that your hips do not allow a proper goblet squat. In that regard, it may be that your upper body leans forward a little bit more, or you're not able to push your knees as far out as I can do it. Doesn't matter. You just stop, listen to your body, and get comfortable with it. So from these 7 exercises, these 7 grinds, I believe the press and the squat will give beginners the most bang for the buck when they start their kettlebell journey. Tip number 3, how to do the ballistics. The kettlebell shines the most, or its unique characterization is a ballistic exercise because we have a bell. This is what differentiates the kettlebell from the barbell and from the dumbbell especially. There are other factors, but the ballistics and the continuous movement that you're able to engage in is one of the most differentiating factors. Now we have a couple of ballistics. We have the hand-to-hand swing. We have the clean. We have the jerk. And we have the snatch. So let's boil it down for beginners. The most important ballistic exercise that beginners want to learn is the swing. The swing includes one of the most important movement patterns that we use when it comes to kettlebell training, and that is the hinge. Hinge means pushing your hips back, unlocking the knees, not bending, but not keeping them extended, but unlocking the knees, and upper body leans forward. If we're deadlifting, most of the time, we want to keep a straight back. But when it comes to the swing, we can also relax the upper back a little bit. But this is more advanced. What you really want to focus on is the arm-body connection. We call it the ABC. This means you want to connect your arm to your body as long as possible, and you want to disconnect your arm from your body as short as possible. So therefore, what we want to learn is to have loose hands and make sure that our hips move the weight and not our arms. So if I want to break down the movement a little bit, I'm trying to really do it in slow motion already. I want to show you what is the most important aspect. So I'll pull the kettlebell into the back swing and now, whoa. You see this? How I'm waiting that the arm connects to my body. And as soon as it connects to my body, this is when I engage in the hinge. And with the hand-to-hand swing, the only thing that I do is I'm switching hands on top when the kettlebell is afloat and when gravity starts doing its thing. Master tip number 4 for beginners is KISS. K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. Minimalism rules for most people. Because most people around the world, I'm not talking about folks like me who train regularly, I'm talking about most people around the world. And if you are a beginner, you're probably in that section. They have a hard time making space for a workout. So if we can decrease the barrier to entry to work out, you are motivated maybe to engage in the workout more often than if the barrier to entry is high with 10 different exercises. That's why we want to keep it simple, stupid. So out of all of these exercises that I just showed you, we just use 3 right now. So what we do right now is the swing. Let's start with the swing. And let's say we do this exercise for 1 minute. So you have a timer on your phone, and then you only listen to the audio cue. You don't have to count reps. Just keep going. Now, after that 1 minute has passed, you hear beep, beep, beep. Okay, let's switch into the press. 1 minute with the right side. There goes that beep, beep again. Switch sides. Here goes that beep, beep again. Let's jump into exercise number 3. The goblet squat. For 1 minute. So with a swing, a press, and a squat, you have 4 minutes of work. And like I mentioned in the beginning, if you are a little bit scared of the swing, scrap the swing and just do the press and the squat. 2 minutes of work, followed by a couple of seconds of rest, and then you do a couple of rounds, 4 or 5 rounds, and you got yourself a great workout. Master tip number 5, lagging muscles go first. From the press, the squat, and let's use the swing as well, maybe you have one area that is weakened the most, or maybe even causes you the most pain. Maybe it's your lower back, maybe it's your shoulder, whatever have you. I would advise that you start with the exercise that challenges the weakest link in the chain first. So if it is your shoulder, guess what? We're gonna start with a press. If you have trouble with your legs, standing up, or maybe even some lower back pain, let's start with the squat. If it's your lower back only that causes you problems, start with the swing. You always want to focus on the weakest link in the chain first. So these are the 5 master tips. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it and consider subscribing. Catch you in the next one.